everyone, it's Janet Prang from Gold Medal Property Management in Killeen, Texas. Today we're here to talk about a very important topic that we hear from our owners all the time, and it's a question about whether or not they should allow pets in their investment properties. Well, this topic has pros and cons. Most people that have pets consider them as part of their family, and they would never consider leaving them behind. So let's talk about some of those pros and cons that are related to this very sensitive topic. So we'll start on the con side. Definitely we all know that pets can do a fair amount of damage. If they're not well trained or the pet owner is not that responsible, pets definitely can do damage. There could be damage to flooring. We have seen a puppy eat every windowsill in a house. So their damages can vary from very mild to quite severe, honestly. The second thing you have to think about is it a single family home or is it multifamily? Because if it is multifamily, you do have other tenants and their neighbors to consider. These issues could be things like barking or pet feces that's not being disposed of properly and picked up in the yard. And so that's another thing to think about when you're considering whether or not to allow pets. Another thing is that most pets have dander and fur. And while this may not be an issue for permanent long-term damage to your property, it could be an issue for a follow-on tenant that moves in at a different time who is very sensitive to these types of environmental issues, whether it be for allergies or asthma or any other medical condition. The final thing you want to think about is danger, possibly to other neighbors or to other tenants that are living in your property. So to address this, some states and local government entities actually have published lists of excluded breeds. So you'll want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with what those requirements are in the area where your investment property is located. Now on the positive side, most of our tenants that we have dealt with, we find to be very responsible pet owners. Again, they consider these animals part of their family, not just as a pet, and they treat them as well as they do other family members and their children. The other pro is that you do have the opportunity to ensure that you're collecting a high enough security deposit and additional pet deposit or pet fee in order to protect yourself in case those damages do occur and you find that damage once the tenant has moved out of the property. One way that you can address that proactively is to schedule periodic visits in your property so that any potential damage is found early enough that it can be dealt with proactively versus all at the end of the tenant's stay in your property. The largest pro that you have is that this gives you the ability to attract more prospects to choose from when you're marketing your property and trying to find that perfect tenant.